Hello and welcome once again to the business programme here on Kirklees Local TV. Regeneration of town centres, the economy in general, is a challenge at the best of times, but under present circumstances, it's extremely challenging. Last year, back in 2019, I chatted to Angela Blake of Kirklees Council and Simon Taylor of Kirklees Council as well, and we looked at the Kirklees Economic Regeneration Plan, and we also looked at the town centre blueprint, the plan to actually redevelop Huddersfield Town Centre. What was missing at that time was sort of the private sector involvement, and so it's a great pleasure to have today Matthew Chapman, who's the manager for the Huddersfield BID Project. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Matthew and sort of say, can you chat us through what the Huddersfield BID is, what it operates, how it operates, and what your role is within that?
Definitely so. Hello, David, and thank you. To kick off, Huddersfield BID, it stands for the Business Improvement District. So how that comes about, it's when businesses within a defined area express their need for change to improve the area in which they're trading. So at the very onset, a group of business leaders come together and say, right, what do we need to introduce better, if you like, initiatives, improvements within the area in we trade in. There's then a business plan's put together, and the number of businesses within that defined area then vote a simple yes or no vote whether they want to introduce this business improvement district. And what they're committing to then is paying an extra levy to, if you like, follow through with the business plan that's set within those guidelines.
Okay.
And then from there, if we go a little bit into Huddersfield BID a little bit more, there's nearly 700 businesses within the BID area, so it kind of goes around the ring road, but then just skewers off slightly to include the university, the leisure centre, the retail parks. And within there's four key aims. There's four key aims within the business plan. It's to promote a lively Huddersfield, to create an accessible Huddersfield, a safe and attractive place to be, and a great business, leisure and cultural offer. So if we go into there, the promotion of a lively Huddersfield, we're thinking of introducing a destination website for Huddersfield, so it celebrates the food and drink, the events that happen in Huddersfield, quirky blogs, just a celebration of all the good things that happen in Huddersfield. As well as that, we're looking at campaigns such as Restaurant Week, food and drink guides, anything really just to promote a more lively Huddersfield. Creating an accessible Huddersfield, that's more about how people get in and out of the town, so signage, car parking, possible schemes and apps to help public transport schemes, wayfinding plans. A safe and attractive place to be, that's more teams on the street, so looking at how safe is it in the area, how we can tackle antisocial behaviour, how we can have a more welcoming environment within the town centre, but also how does the town centre feel, so how clean is it, what are your first impressions when you come into the town centre, so is there street art, creative lighting, more greenery. It's just so that there's a nicer feel within the town centre. And then the great business, leisure and cultural offer. I use this perfect example that Huddersfield doesn't seem to celebrate the things that it should be proud of well enough. So one of the good things is the sport of rugby league was born in Huddersfield 125 years ago this year. In kind of a few months ago, obviously before the COVID-19, there was no plans in action to celebrate that birth of the sport in our town. So what we did, we spoke to Kirklees Council, we spoke to the RFL, the Rugby Football League, just to try and get the wheels in motion to have that celebration in Huddersfield. So what we've got, we had two meetings so far with Kirklees Council and the RFL, looking at having that celebration not in Leeds or Manchester, but in Huddersfield, where it was born, where the sport was born. So that was actually making traction. Obviously, COVID-19 has put a little bit of a hump in the road, if you like, with that at the moment. But it's just things like that businesses were saying, no, we've got so much to be proud of, but we don't really do enough to celebrate it. So let's put more on offer to celebrate our business, our leisure, and the cultural things that are really things to be proud of within Huddersfield.
That's a wonderful agenda, a tremendous list of things to go at. It must be incredibly frustrating not to be able to do much at this moment in time in terms of actually rolling things out. But
Yeah,
so
yeah, it is, and I suppose at the moment I suppose like all organisations at the moment, we're revisiting our business plan, and we're very much adapting, like all organisations have to do it in at the moment. So we're all those plans that I just talked about, there, if you like, in a perfect scenario, and our perfect scenario, it might be 12 months down the line, but that, if you like, is the plan that the businesses of Huddersfield voted for. So it's the plan that we will push forward with. But naturally, within the next 3, 6, 12 months, we will be looking at ways to adapt, to still try and fulfil those 4 key aims, but look at doing it in a different way. And I think at the moment, we're very much, if you like, those 4 key aims have been pushed to the side a little bit, and we've been very much, if you like, acting as the middleman for a lot of our businesses. We're helping them with applying for the grants, helping them with the furloughing, just helping them with any inquiries that they've got at the moment, just to get through this short phase of panic, I guess, and crisis.
yeah, I suppose that's one of the things as well. There's going to be significant change. We can expect some sort of downside and downturn in the local economy. There are sort of big areas of deprivation outside the BID area. So I suppose it's an opportunity as well to sort of look at everything in general and say, what can we do to regenerate critically the town centre, but also that adds a spin off to the outlying areas as well. As you said, it's how do you get into the centre of Huddersfield, and some of those areas that you have to pass through maybe need a little bit of encouragement as well and support to develop likewise. So I think there's some fantastic spin-offs to be had in all ways.
Definitely so, and I think even though, if you like, us as an organisation, it's a business improvement district that's got a defined area. We know that if the impression that is being delivered on the way to our area, if you like, it isn't as great, we know that has an impact on our area. So absolutely, we're looking at working with all the community organisations outside of the BID area, and as well to work with those guys and to help those guys at this moment, so that then that entices them back into the town centre and work with us, work with Kirklees Council, work with all the university and all the other organisations within the town, just to work together, because everybody, I believe, wants the same goal ultimately at the end.
And I think in the future, everybody's going to want that even more as we come out of lockdown and we start to regenerate the economy in whatever way we can. Yeah, that
Definitely
enthusiasm, that inspiration, and critically that leadership is going to be needed. And it's wonderful to sort of chat to you today and sort of feel the warmth, the enthusiasm, the dedication that you've got towards the role. And I wish you all the best with that. So
Thank you very much.
I promise we'll be back in the near future to see what actually is happening next, when we've got more of an idea of what can be done. But I look forward to hearing updates on that in the very near future. So thank you ever so much, and I look forward to seeing you again next time here on the business programme on Kirklees Local TV. Goodbye.